So maybe we could look at that as a failure, but that really is not how I see things in my life. It's how I used to see things in my life. I used to see things as a huge, huge failure. But now, the older I'm getting, the more I realise that it's not a failure, it's just a learning curve. It's something that I've gone through to get to a certain point in my life. And it's something I had to go through to get to this point in my life. For the last 6 years, or almost 6 years, I've been working as an online health and fitness coach. And recently, in the last few months, I've decided that is just really not for me. Right, so listen, welcome back to another episode. Right, for the last 6 years, I have been working as an online health and fitness coach. And in the last few weeks, I've made a pretty big decision that is just really not the life for me. So welcome back to another video. Usual housekeeping things apply. If you are not subscribed to this channel already, then make sure you hit that little subscribe button. Make sure you put your thumb on the wee thumbs up like button, and maybe even drop us a wee comment, because that's going to help the algorithm to get this video out to more people. All right, so like I say, the last sort of couple of weeks I have decided to make a bit of a big change in my life. So just to give you a bit of a kind of backstory for anybody that's new to this channel or new to my content on social media, I used to be a full-time karate instructor, and in 2019 I started down the path of being an online health and fitness coach. I wanted to help people to get fit. I wanted to help people to lose weight, to improve their health, improve their fitness, and just basically improve their life. But also at the same time, I wanted to create a life that allowed me a lot of freedom to spend a lot of time with my family, and just be able to go and just do what I want to do, live life on my terms. And I was really drawn into the whole online side of things because the whole laptop lifestyle just seemed really, really intriguing to me, and it seemed like something that would be the kind of life I could live, and truth be told, it's really not worked out that way at all. When I started the business, I thought that's what it was going to be. It's really not. It's not a laptop lifestyle. I don't sit on beaches in Bali and do all these kind of wonderful things that you see these social media influencers doing. I sit in here in my office most days by myself, staring at social media, liking and commenting on people's posts, making up programs for clients, which is good fun. But generally it's a pretty lonely existence, so it's not the life that I wanted to live. Whereas before, when I was teaching martial arts, I was involved with people, I was connecting with people regularly, I was helping people to get fit, I was helping people to improve their life, improve their confidence, start down a path of competition if that's where they wanted to go. And I just lost sight of kind of what it was that I really wanted in my life, or how I wanted to live my life. And over the sort of last year, I've really been kind of toying with the idea of, is my ladder up against the right wall? I'm trying to climb a ladder to get to a certain goal, but I didn't know if my ladder was against the right wall. All right, so, and especially this last sort of few weeks, I've realised that I think I have been climbing the wrong ladder. All right, so I'm now in the process of coming back down that ladder to maybe re-establish what it is I want to actually do with my life. And in the sort of last, I would say maybe the last sort of 6 months, maybe a little bit longer than that actually, I've realised that working with people directly, like being in contact with people, what I was doing before, teaching martial arts, actually being involved with people, is much more suited to my personality and what I actually want to do with my life. But I had to go through that process of trying something that hasn't really worked for me to get a full understanding of what it is that I actually really need to be doing in my life. So as it stands at the moment, I'm in a bit of a transition period. I don't really know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go. I've started teaching martial arts again. I've been teaching that now for the last year, which has been incredible. Getting back involved in that whole scene has been absolutely phenomenal. I've managed to build up a couple of clubs again, which are, they're back relatively busy, almost to kind of what I had before. And it's been fantastic. There's a whole bunch of new kids, a whole bunch of new parents that are all coming in, and getting to kind of work with those kids and help them progress through their gradings, getting to work with a few of the adults that are coming in and actually help them to build their confidence, to put themselves out there, to actually start trying to do martial arts. It's been such a massive thing, and it's so rewarding. And I get so much more from that than just being sat here all day long on social media trying to connect with people and, hopefully try and help them with their health and their fitness, which again is rewarding, but it's just not for me. It's not how I want to live my life. And I think I had to go through that period of really kind of trying to go down that path to realise it wasn't for me. And that's kind of where I want to get to with this video. Like, I've actually started doing this video without a lot of direction. I wanted to kind of talk about what's been going on over the last sort of year for me, kind of where I'm at. And I think that's why I've been so sporadic with getting these episodes out for this podcast or for this YouTube channel, is because I feel like I've been trying to force something that maybe wasn't aligned with who I am as a person. All right. Now, I've actually read a few books over the last few years that speak about the ladder on the right wall, being in alignment with yourself, and all those kind of things. And I've always kind of read those statements or looked at those statements and thought, well, I think I am in alignment. I think I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. But the reality is, I wasn't happy. It didn't give me the things that I wanted to get from it. I wasn't able to spend more time with my family. I wasn't able to go travelling more with my family because I had to be glued to my computer all the time. If I did go on a holiday with my family, I had to take my laptop with me. The laptop lifestyle is not all it's cracked up to be. If I'm going on holiday to spend time with my family and I'm sat there on the laptop the whole time, it sucks. It was rubbish. It just wasn't for me. It didn't fill me with joy. All right, but like I say, sometimes we have to go through a certain thing to realise it's maybe not for us. All right. So when it comes to trying something new or to doing something, a lot of people would maybe see that as a massive failure. Like that whole last 6 years, oh, you failed. And yeah, okay, maybe that aspect has been a failure. Maybe it's not worked how I wanted to work. So maybe we could look at that as a failure, but that really is not how I see things in my life. It's how I used to see things in my life. I used to see things as a huge failure, but now, the older I'm getting, the more I realise that it's not a failure, it's just a learning curve. It's something that I've gone through to get to a certain point in my life, and it's something I had to go through to get to this point in my life. And it's not to say that I'm now on the right path. As I say, I don't 100% know where I want to go. I don't know what direction I want to go in. But we'll talk about that in a wee second. But if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have learned some of the lessons I've learned over the last 6 years. I've got a whole brand new skill set around social media, around marketing, around sales, all those kind of things. I've got a whole new skill set around that whole area. I'm not saying it's my favourite things to have learned. You know, a life in sales really I don't think is for me. It's not my thing. But I've learned how to do it. I know how to do it. I know a little bit about marketing now. I know a little bit about Facebook ads. I know about how to do YouTube videos. I know how to do live videos on my social media feeds. I actually remember back to the first live that I did, the very first live that a coach I was working with, he advised me to do a live video on social media, and I was terrified. I was shaking, my palms were sweating, my t-shirt at the end of it, all around the armpits, was soaking wet, my backside was soaking wet, sitting on my wee stool. I was like, oh my God almighty, and I was shaking. And it was the worst thing ever. It was rubbish. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it wasn't good. It was terrible. It was an absolute disaster. But the more I did it, and the more I forced myself to do it, the more comfortable I got. Same with making these videos. The first video I ever tried to make, I must have had 103 attempts at it before I actually got the thing started. It took time. It was a process. I had to go through that process. It's like anything in life. When you first start off, you're going to suck. You're going to be rubbish at it. When you first try to lose weight, you're going to suck. When you first start going to the gym, you're going to suck. You're not going to be so strong. But the more you put the time in, the more effort you put in, and the more you work at it, the better you get. All right, it's all part of that process. So I've gone through this process over the last 6 years. I've learned how to do some marketing. I've learned how to make content. I've learned how to make these videos. I've learned a whole new skill set, and I've learned things about myself that I maybe wouldn't have learned if I hadn't gone down that path. So it's not been a waste of time. It's been a valuable learning experience, but it's also been the thing I needed to do to bring me back to this point in my life. All right, and this is what I kind of want to touch on. It's been a bit of a kind of a long introduction to get to what I want to say. So sometimes when we do go through our life, we find ourselves stuck in a rut. We find ourselves stuck at a bit of a crossroads, and we don't know what to do. All right, and a lot of people, when they get hit with that point, where they're maybe stuck in a job they hate, or they're stuck in a relationship that's not bringing them joy, or they're stuck doing something that's not making them happy. A lot of people, unfortunately, will just freeze. They'll do nothing. They'll just sit there, and then they'll just drift their way through life, just taking each day as it comes. And then what tends to happen is we then get to a point that we are living for the weekends. All right, so we grind out the week. We're hating life. It's rubbish. It's crap. We're not enjoying it. We get to the weekend and we drink away our sorrows. We get steaming drunk. We get smashed. We get stoned out our faces and take loads of drugs. All right, that was a part of my existence for a long time. And again, if you've watched this channel previously, or if you've watched any of my content on social media, you'll know a bit about my backstory. And that was my life for a while. That's how I conducted my life. But the unfortunate thing is, if that's the cycle you're stuck in, then it's a never-ending cycle. It's not going to get you anywhere. All right, somebody's trying to phone me. All right, it's not going to get you anywhere. All right, you're going to get stuck in this cycle where you just keep on going round in the same old loop. And what ends up happening is you end up just feeling more and more and more and more unhappy. All right. So the key to this is, and what I want to kind of try and suggest to you or kind of help you with is, when it comes to being stuck, when it comes to not knowing what you want to do, right? This is kind of where I'm at the moment. I don't really know what I want to do. Like, I think there's a future in martial arts. I think I definitely want to go down that path. But in saying that, I've also got this YouTube channel. I've got an email list. I've got a couple of social media channels that are based around health and fitness, mindset, all that kind of stuff. I'm left with a choice. Do I want to just push that to the side and not do anything with it ever again and just completely focus on martial arts? Or do I want to just keep this and do something with it? And I started documenting my running journey and my kind of training journey. And I've got a hope of doing a marathon and potentially an ultra marathon at some point next year. And I've started documenting those journeys and documenting the training process and the things that I go through to get to them. So do I want to make this channel all about only that kind of stuff, and maybe my journey back into competition with karate and maybe in some jiu-jitsu as well? Or do I want to continue to just make videos like this that can potentially help you? I don't know. I'm stuck in a quandary. I'm not sure what to do. And this is exactly what I'm going to speak about now. Is when you're stuck in that position, when you've found yourself in that position where you're not sure what to do, you feel a little bit stuck, you're not sure what direction to take things in. Your two options are to just stay doing what you're doing and do absolutely bugger all and always wonder what if, or you just start trying things. Right, you've got to just start trying things. In recent times, I've been looking up how to do some public speaking. So I've been looking at Toastmasters, how to get up and speak in public. So there's one thing doing a video like this that I know people are going to see. I'm putting myself out there into onto the internet. People are going to watch this. Like, whether it's 10 people or 100 people or 10,000 people, people are going to watch this. And regardless of what happens, they'll judge it. They might leave a negative comment. They might leave a positive comment. All right, there's going to be some kind of feedback that comes from it. Nobody at all might watch it. It might suggest the video's crap. All right, each one of those things is going to have a different impact on how I feel. All right, kind of. Not that I get down about it if somebody leaves me a negative comment, but I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting myself at risk. I'm being vulnerable and I'm opening up to the possibility that somebody might say something mean. Somebody might say, "Oh, this was a shit video, man. What was the point in this?" Public speaking's a bit different because then you're standing in front of a room full of people. And like, I don't know about you, if you're watching this, like I've done a couple of public speaking things before, and it was the same feeling I had when I very first done one of these videos. My palms were sweating, my armpits were sweating, my t-shirt was soaking. I could feel my mouth drying up like cotton mouth. I just couldn't wait for it to be over. And then, even though I was trying to speak calmly before, I knew I was speaking really fast, and then I was just trying to get the thing over, and then the thing I was trying to kind of relay, the information I was trying to put across, just sounded jumbled because I lost my place on my notes. I dropped my notes. It was a disaster. All right, so I put myself up and looked, okay, how can I get better at public speaking? I've been looking at comedy courses. Can I try and do a stand-up comedy course and maybe try and get a bit more kind of charismatic and a bit more comedic? Learn how to be funny. But it's looking at doing different things. I've started learning Japanese again. So until you start doing something different, you're never going to know what it is that resonates with you. You're never going to know what it is that you like. Martial arts is something I always come back to. It's something that I really enjoy. I came away from that 6 years ago to start doing this, and I think it wasn't a mistake. I don't see it as a mistake, but it's definitely something that I don't think I should have cut out my life completely from a teaching perspective, because now looking back on it, it's something that I thrive on. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy, everything I spoke about earlier, watching people grow, watching people develop. I really enjoy that, and I get a massive buzz off it. So going back to that has been a massive positive step. So I'll continue to grow that. But what else do I want to do over and above that? So, learning some new things, learning some new skills, putting myself out there, doing things that I would maybe never have done before. Public speaking, comedy, learning Japanese. I've picked up my guitar again. I'm starting to play my guitar. Are there different things that you can do? Like running. Running, for example, is a big one for me. I hate running. I cannot stand it. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that. I detest it. And I like the whole runner's high thing. And I don't get that. I get the runner's, oh, thank God that's finished. Because I hate it. I hate the idea of going out to do it. I don't really enjoy it while I'm out doing it. The feeling I get when I'm finished is it's not I feel so elated, I'm euphoric, that was an amazing run. I feel like, thank God that's finished. I'm so happy that's over with, because that was crap. I hated it. But I continue to do it because I enjoy the physical benefits it gives me from a health perspective, but also the mental benefits it gives me, the fact that it's something that I don't enjoy. It's something that I find ridiculously difficult, but I still force myself out to do it. All right, so I'm going out and I'm trying to do half marathons. I want to do a marathon next year. I want to do an ultra marathon next year. These are all things that they fill me with absolute dread. I'm terrified of the prospect of doing them, but the idea of them kind of excites me because it's a big challenge. And then it's something that I can then say I've done. I've got a couple of medals for running and hanging up. It's things that I can then say I've done. And then over and above that, the flip side of that is my daughter, she's only 6. When she sees me going out and doing these things, she's then, she's going to feel encouraged to maybe one, try it herself, but also that she can see that, I'm not the kind of guy that just sits around and does nothing. I'm challenging myself. I'm putting myself out there. I'm trying new things, right? Which is then going to hopefully help her to try new things. Because kids can sometimes be a little bit, I don't want to try that. I'm a bit scared of it, right? Which my daughter definitely is. She gets that a lot. When there's something new, she backs away from it. She gets overwhelmed. She gets frightened. Right? I don't want that to be her life. I want her to be able to kind of put herself out there and face her fears. So that's one of the reasons that I do these things. Right? But if you're stuck at that crossroads in your life, if you're not sure what to do, if you're not sure where to go, please don't just sit there. Don't just sit there and kind of bottle everything all up. Live life till the weekend, then get steaming drunk to drown your sorrows, and then get back to going through the whole daily grind. Start doing some different things. Like if there's a promotion comes up at your work, maybe apply for it, see what happens. Or if there's a new job that's maybe just outside your skill set, apply for the job anyway. And if you don't get it, ask the employer, what could I have done to get that job? What do I need to do to maybe get that job in the future? And then if they tell you what the skill set is that you need to have, then go and learn that skill set. It might be marketing, it might be making and editing videos, it might be learning how to ski so you can be a ski instructor. I don't know, like just whatever it is. Go and start doing different things. Start doing different things that you maybe would never have tried to do before. Play a musical instrument, start writing a book, do something, because the more things that you do, the more you're going to find something that clicks with you. And then from there, you can potentially make that a bit of a side hustle. So then at the weekends, instead of thinking, oh, do you know what, man, I really hate my job, I'm just going to get steaming drunk to forget that. Cool, okay, you really hate your job, but at the weekends, you can now plough your energy into this thing here. All right, and if it's that you're not happy in your relationship, maybe read some relationship books or go and speak to a relationship coach and find out what you can do to improve to see if that can help improve the relationship. And if it's beyond the point of repair, then, maybe have a real serious sit-down conversation and see what you need to do to maybe go your separate ways to make things better for the whole family. All right, instead of sitting there in a ball of depression. But instead of just sitting there doing nothing, start doing something. All right, when you start doing something, eventually first and foremost, you'll find something that clicks with you that you can maybe then do as an extracurricular activity, which you can then turn into maybe a side hustle, which you can then maybe replace your job with. All right, or the more you start doing these things, the more you're kind of receptive of what those things have to offer, the more opportunities you'll start to see elsewhere that might allow you to then move in that direction. All right, but sitting doing absolutely bugger all and doing absolutely nothing, that's just going to keep you stuck. All right, and like I say, this whole kind of video was spurred on by the fact that over the last year, I've been starting to feel this way with the whole online thing. I wasn't sure if it was for me, but I kept on digging in anyway because I really did enjoy helping people. I like seeing people, lose weight, get healthier, get fitter, have better connections with their families because they're fitter and more able to do things. They're feeling happier in their lives. I love all that side of things, but everything else that goes with it, I felt I was forcing. It wasn't aligned with me. I wasn't feeling aligned, sitting in my house all day long. I wasn't aligned. So I had to try something different. I went back to teaching karate. I'm about to start teaching a jiu-jitsu class, which, by the way, is way out of my comfort zone. I've never taught jiu-jitsu before. Right? I'm completely flooded with imposter syndrome because I've only just been promoted to blue belt. Even though I've been training for 15 years, I've only just been promoted to blue belt. So I'm now asking, am I good enough to teach that? I got absolutely hammered last night in training, like non-stop. We were in a shark tank, which puts me in the middle, and then just constant new opponents coming in all the time who are fresh, and it was me in the middle. I was knackered. I couldn't do anything. I was wasted. I was holding on for dear life. So I got to the end of that class and thought, how can I teach jiu-jitsu when I couldn't even do that? So I'm filled with fear about it, but that's why I need to do it. I need to try it. If I don't try it, how do I know if I'm going to like it? I might try it and teach it and find out that I'm really good at it. I'm really good at teaching, which will then make me a better teacher, it'll make me a better student, it'll make me a better practitioner, which is then going to give me a whole other angle that I can move down. But if I don't try it, if I don't put myself out there to give it a go, I'm never going to know. Right? And if I just clung on to the whole online thing, because it's like, do you know what, I've been doing that for the last 6 years, I can't stop this because that means I'm a failure. No, I'm not a failure. It means I've learned new things. I've had a whole learning experience over the last 6 years, and I've now realised that it's now time to maybe try something different because really this isn't working for me. All right, it's not to say it's not a good profession. It's not to say that, it doesn't work. For some people, it really does. For me, it's not what I want to do. It's not the path I want to go down. But I had to go through that whole experience to get me to this point in my life right now. And now that I'm here, I'm trying new things because I want to say, okay, well, if I can't do that, what can I do? What does resonate with me? Do I want to teach guitar? I don't want to teach guitar. But you get my point. All right, by trying out these new things, by doing something different, it's going to give me a different scope. It's going to present me with different opportunities that I can maybe then start to move down that path. All right, and it might not be teaching jiu-jitsu. I might start down this path and then realise that's not for me. I might find something different as a result of doing this that I do then want to move down. But the key here is not to stay stuck. Don't hit that crossroads and then stay stuck. And then play that victim and go, oh, you know, man, how can I change it, man? I've got a family support. I can't change my job. I can't do this. I'm really unhappy. I hate where I'm at, but I need to keep on going to that job because I need to keep making a paycheck. I need to keep doing this. Yeah, cool, man. You do, but you also have options. Right, so instead of getting steaming drunk at the weekend, go and learn a new skill. Do something different. Go out with your family and take up pottery making. Like I don't know, do something, but just do something that's actually constructive rather than destructive. Because sitting there doing absolutely nothing and then just getting wasted and going through that same process again and again and again, that is a massively destructive behavioural pattern, and that's going to keep you stuck. And over a certain amount of time, there's going to come a point where you'll break down. All right, and you'll then be massively depressed. You're really going to hate your life. And if it is to do with work, it's then going to impact your relationships. It's going to impact everything in your life. All right, so when you hit that crossroads, understand that everybody gets there. It does happen, but just be willing to change. Be willing to change your approach. Be willing to do something different and try different things. Put yourself out there. If it scares you, awesome, go do it. All right, that's all the more reason to do it. If it scares you, put yourself out there, do the thing. It might be making videos like this and putting them on YouTube. It might be making videos and putting them out in lives. Right? Do something that scares you that's going to help you to grow as a person. And from there, you might actually just find the thing that you're actually aligned with, or that's more aligned with you as a person, that you can then start to kind of make a more frequent thing in your life. And that might then become your job. It might become your new reality. All right, it might just be that thing that completely changes your life. You just never know. All right, so anyway, listen, this started off as a bit of a kind of ramble. As I say, I knew where I wanted to get to with this video, but I didn't have any notes written down. It was a kind of a last minute decision to kind of put it together, but I hope it made sense. All right, I hope you got something from that. And like I said at the start, if you are getting anything from these videos, if you're watching this to the very end, please understand you're part of a very small percentage of people, all right? I have purposefully made these videos without any cuts and edits and add-ins and all that kind of stuff for two reasons. One, I can't be arsed doing that. It takes forever. Eventually, I might get somebody to do it. I don't know. But I can't be arsed doing it. It takes absolutely forever. And again, that was one of the catalysts for me deciding to change my approach to life, because making all those little short videos and stuff that I made for Instagram, you've got to change the scene every 2 seconds or people switch off. So if you're one of the people that are still watching this, give yourself a pat in the back, because it means you've actually got an attention span that's longer than that of a goldfish. Because most people are flicking through shorts or they're flicking through reels and they're watching them. If they've not changed scene, or they've not put a wee cartoon character up, or something hasn't changed in the angle, or the zoom in hasn't changed, if something's not happened in 3 seconds, they switch off. Because they're then bored. They're looking for that constant attention. They're just frying out their dopamine receptors. So it's a very, very small percentage of people that will actually watch a video like this purposefully all the way through and then get to the end without that need for constant switching. All right. So the other reason I've made the videos like this is because I want to kind of do away with that, man, as much as I possibly can. It might mean I get a lot less viewers. Cool. I'm all right with that, man. I don't care. If it helps one person, hallelujah. All right, but we need to start bringing our attention spans back in, because right now they are completely shot. People are just watching videos and then just flicking through, and it's so damaging for your health. All right, but anyway, that's a topic for a completely different video. I was about to digress there massively. So if you are getting any value from these videos and you have watched this all the way to the end, remember, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down in the corner. Pop your thumb on the thumbs up button and maybe leave me a wee comment so that YouTube knows to pump this out to more people. And if you are listening to this as a podcast, then please make sure you give us a 5-star review and maybe share this to your stories so that more people can benefit from the episode. All right, so that is us for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until the next time, take care. See you soon.